Hello! This is going to blow your mind. You need to hear this if you're a true crime enthusiast. Welcome to Crime Chronicles. Why are there not more people talking about Umesh Reddy? There's a chill in the air, not the kind that signals a change in season. This one's different. It clings to the walls, whispers through the streets. It's the chill of fear. In the heart of Bangalore, this fear has a name: Umesh Reddy. Umesh Reddy. The name hangs in the air like a bad omen, a whisper of something dark, something sinister. He is the boogeyman, the monster parents warn their children about. His crimes, brutal, heinous. His victims, innocent, unsuspecting. Reddy's case isn't just another crime story. It's a deep dive into the abyss of the human psyche. A journey into the heart of darkness where monsters are made, not born. This is a story about the making of a monster, the societal failures that allowed him to thrive, and the chilling lessons we must learn from his reign of terror. This is the story of Umesh Reddy, the beast of Bangalore. Umesh Reddy wasn't born with a thirst for blood. He wasn't spawned in some forgotten corner of hell. He was born into a world much like ours, a world of hopes, dreams, and the promise of a future. His childhood, however, held the first whispers of the darkness to come. Born in a small village in Karnataka, Reddy's early life was marred by poverty and neglect. The seeds of resentment were sown early, taking root in the fertile ground of his young mind. As a child, Reddy displayed disturbing tendencies: bedwetting, cruelty to animals, a fascination with fire. These were the early warning signs, the red flags that went unnoticed, unaddressed. The world, it seemed, was too busy to notice the monster blooming in its midst. These early experiences, these cracks in the foundation of his childhood, played a crucial role in shaping the monster he would become. The boy who was ignored, neglected, and abused was slowly morphing into someone capable of unimaginable cruelty. Irony can be a cruel mistress. Umesh Reddy, the man who would become synonymous with terror, once swore to uphold the law. He joined the police force, a symbol of protection, a beacon of hope in a world often shrouded in darkness. On the surface, Reddy was a model officer. He was efficient, disciplined, and rose through the ranks quickly. He was the officer you wanted on your side, the one who inspired confidence and respect. But beneath the veneer of respectability, a storm was brewing. Reddy's inner demons, the ones he'd kept shackled for so long, were straining at their leash. His job, the very institution that represented law and order, would become his hunting ground. The power, the authority, the access to vulnerable women. It was all too tempting for a mind already teetering on the edge. The man who had sworn to protect was about to unleash a reign of terror that would leave an indelible scar on Bangalore's soul. The descent into darkness is often a gradual one, a slow slide into the abyss. For Umesh Reddy, it began with petty thefts, minor infractions that were easily dismissed as aberrations, but these were mere tremors, harbingers of the earthquake to come. Then came the first attack. A young woman, alone and vulnerable, became the target of Reddy's warped desires. The attack was brutal, savage, bearing all the hallmarks of a predator in his element. The police force, unaware that the monster they were hunting was one of their own, launched a full-scale investigation. Reddy, the chameleon, blended seamlessly into the background, watching, observing, learning from their every move. This first attack was a turning point, a line crossed from which there was no return. The monster had tasted blood, and it craved more. Section 5. The Monster Unleashed, a Reign of Terror begins. Emboldened by his initial success, and fueled by a growing sense of invincibility, Umesh Reddy embarked on a reign of terror that would send shockwaves through Bangalore. His victims, all women, were chosen at random, their lives brutally extinguished to satisfy his dark desires. Each attack was more audacious than the last, each one pushing the boundaries of cruelty. Reddy seemed to revel in the fear he instilled, the chaos he unleashed. The city held its breath, living in the shadow of a predator they couldn't identify, let alone stop. The police were baffled. The crimes were escalating in their brutality, but the perpetrator left behind few clues. The city was on edge, the fear palpable. Who was this monster lurking in their midst? Reddy, meanwhile, continued his reign of terror, a phantom preying on the innocent, his true identity hidden behind a badge of honor that now felt like a cruel joke. Section 6. Modus operandi. Unraveling the patterns of a predator. Every predator has a pattern, a signature that sets them apart. Umesh Reddy was no different. As the body count rose, investigators began to piece together the puzzle that was his modus operandi. Reddy's victims were all young women, often alone and vulnerable. He would stalk them, learn their routines, and strike when they least expected it. His attacks were brutal, characterized by a level of rage and violence that spoke of deep-seated anger and misogyny. He would often target women in broad daylight, his audacity a testament to his growing confidence and his belief that he was above the law. He would overpower his victims, subject them to unimaginable horrors, and then vanish into thin air. The audacity of his crimes, the meticulous planning, the lack of remorse, all pointed to a psychopathic mind, a predator who derived pleasure from the suffering of others. The hunt was on for a monster hiding in plain sight. To understand Umesh Reddy's crimes, one must delve into the labyrinthine corridors of a sociopathic mind. Sociopaths are often characterized by a lack of empathy, remorse, or guilt. They are master manipulators, able to blend seamlessly into society while harboring a deep well of darkness within. Reddy's actions bear all the hallmarks of sociopathy. His utter disregard for human life, the calculated brutality of his crimes, and his lack of remorse all point to a mind wired differently. He saw his victims as objects, their lives expendable, their only purpose to satisfy his twisted desires. Experts believe that Reddy's sociopathy was likely rooted in his troubled childhood. The neglect, the abuse, the lack of emotional connection. All these factors likely contributed to the stunted development of his empathy and conscience. Understanding the mind of a sociopath is a daunting task, a journey into the darkest recesses of the human psyche. But it is a journey we must undertake if we are to have any hope of preventing future tragedies. The case of Umesh Reddy is not just the story of a monster, but also an indictment of a society that allowed him to flourish. It exposes the systemic failures, the societal blind spots that predators like Reddy exploit to devastating effect. The police force, burdened by bureaucracy and hampered by a lack of resources, was slow to connect the dots. Reddy's position within the force, his ability to manipulate the system he was a part of, gave him a sense of invincibility. The societal stigma surrounding sexual assault prevented many women from coming forward, allowing Reddy to operate with impunity for far too long. The fear of being disbelieved, of being shamed, silenced the voices of those who could have potentially stopped him. The Umesh Reddy case is a stark reminder that monsters don't exist in a vacuum. They are created, nurtured, and empowered by the very systems that are supposed to protect us. It is a call to action, a demand for accountability, and a plea for change. The trial of Umesh Reddy was a media sensation, gripping the nation with its gruesome details and the sheer depravity of his crimes. The prosecution presented a mountain of evidence, detailing Reddy's modus operandi, his psychological profile, and the chilling testimonies of surviving victims. Reddy, true to his nature, remained defiant throughout the trial, showing no remorse for his actions. He pleaded not guilty, claiming he was being framed, but the evidence against him was overwhelming. In the end, the jury found Umesh Reddy guilty on multiple counts of rape and murder. He was sentenced to death, a sentence that brought a sense of closure, albeit a hollow one, to the families of his victims. While the verdict brought a sense of justice, it did little to address the systemic failures that allowed Reddy to operate for so long. The scars of his crimes run deep, a chilling reminder of the monster who walked among them. The case of Umesh Reddy, the Beast of Bangalore, is a stark reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of even the most seemingly ordinary individuals. It is a story that chills us to the bone, but it is also a story from which we must learn. Reddy's case highlights the importance of early intervention, of recognizing and addressing the warning signs of violent behavior in childhood. It underscores the need for a more robust mental health care system, one that can provide early diagnosis and treatment for individuals at risk. It also exposes the vulnerabilities in our law enforcement agencies, the need for better training, increased resources, and a system that is more accountable and transparent. We must empower women to come forward, to report abuse without fear of judgment or stigma. The shadow of Umesh Reddy will forever loom large over Bangalore, a chilling reminder of the human capacity for evil. But his case also serves as a call to action, a reminder that we must remain vigilant, that we must learn from the past to protect the future. Only then can we hope to prevent such tragedies from happening again. Please like and share this video and subscribe to our channel for more content. Let's go!